Hey team, Eddie Gray back at it again. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to set up your workflow in such a way where it is seamless. This is not something you're going to find anywhere else. I believe I have the very best system in the world that will allow you to feel free within the program and that will allow you to move in a very accelerated way and in the most clearest way possible. So go ahead and let's set up your key commands for snap and also for nudge. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, team? This is Eddie Gray, and I'd like to talk to you about speeding up your workflow in file management. So here I have a basic track. Logic, as we know, is consisted of audio, MIDI, drummer, and then the new pattern region. So that being said, if you really want to speed up your workflow, you're going to have to work with the most important aspect of Logic, in my opinion, and that's called snap mode and nudge mode. As soon as you understand this basic concept, you will fundamentally be sound, you'll be able to move around, you'll be able to navigate, make edits. The entire program depends on your mastering this one aspect of the program. Okay, so if I open up the toolbar, key command control option command T, and you can open up the toolbar by also hitting this guy right here. What's going to happen is you'll see Logic's most often used key commands, and this is where you can find your nudge value. Sure, you can change it manually, but you can also set this to a key command, and so that's what we're going to focus on today. We know that we can create precise edits and be more adept at the program if we utilize snap and nudge. But if you're still using your mouse in order to get there and there, that's going to be a problem, 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road. You're going to be wasting a lot of time and energy. And as we know, this game is about time management and energy management as well. So let's go ahead and figure out, how can I set this up in such a way where it is seamless, it works with my creativity, and we can remove the technological stuff so we can get into the music, all right? So the first thing we want to do is open up the key command window. Key command option K, and for those of you that need to find it in the menu bar, you go to Logic Pro, key commands, and there they are right there. All right, so something that's going to help you with this video is you'll notice that I have a camera here and that it's focusing on my numerical keyboard. Now, for those of you that don't have an extended keyboard, that's not a big deal. You're just going to have to use different key commands, and so I'll give you some options as well. So I like to have the extended keyboard because I have more buttons at my disposal that I can use, all right? But it is not necessary. I just want to be absolutely clear about that. So the goal is to speed up your workflow, and how we're going to do that is by assigning your snap and your nudge to key commands. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to type in the word snap, and you'll notice that I have them already set up on keys F16, F17, F18, and F19. So that's this top row right here, okay? All right. And then if we do the same thing, in fact, let me show you another way to find key commands. If you just type in the command that's in question, you'll notice that the screen will update and find the key command for you. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to hit the key command, and there it is, set nudge value to bar. So the way I've done it is I've set up my nudge so that I have bars, beats, divisions, and ticks. Now you might be asking, why don't you use 10 ticks? I use it all the time, I just don't have it assigned. I like the snap and nudge to be flush. In other words, I want them to be right next to each other to help me with my workflow. All right, so that takes care of that. For those of you who are advanced, you can do this on your own, but you could set up your shuffle modes, your drag modes rather, right below that row. And so that would be numerical key number 7, 8, 9, and then the subtraction side or the minus sign. And so you can do that there. But for the rest of us here, let's just stay within this top row. And again, if you don't have an extended keyboard, do me a favor. Set it up so that your snap mode is set to shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4. And so here, let me take you back there. I want you to assign shift 1 to bar, shift 2 to beat, shift 3 division, and then the last one, shift 4 to ticks. And then for the nudge, you're just going to continue on the keyboard. So we'll do 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. And so that's how I want you to set that up. So how do you set that up? Okay. You want to go ahead, click on the key command, and then you want to hit learn by key label. So I'm going to go ahead and assign this. If I wanted to change it and add another key, let's say I press this one per se, it's going to give you some information, a dialog window. I'm going to cancel because I don't want to replace or anything, but for you, you might have to replace, and that's okay. So once you're done teaching Logic where you want to assign that key command, then you can move on. Okay, so first step, assign snap mode and nudge value to key command so you can move freely. Now look at what this does. This allows me to essentially move with ease and grace and not have to think about how I'm going to move something. So here, look at my screen. I'm going to move this drummer region using bar over to the right, and then what I'll do is I'll edit per beat, and then now I'll edit per division. And I did that all very quickly without any real serious effort. Let's say I wanted to mute something from here to here. And so I would just select my bar and then hit Control M. And now I just created a very fast edit without really trying. What does this do? It liberates you to have more energy. You don't have to think about it as much. On top of that, if you want to be extremely meticulous, let's say you really wanted to, take this row out, you could do that just like that. Really easy. Just an incredible workflow for those of you that haven't adopted it yet. Highly recommend it. It has revolutionized the way I think about music, the way I look at music. Had I known earlier, I know it would have benefited me a long time ago. And so these are a couple of examples of how this is going to completely alter your relationship with Logic. Because again, you don't have to A, go to the snap mode, change it here, and then B, you don't have to incorrectly do something. For the days of like having to zoom in and try and wait, is it here? Is it there? I think it's here. Why don't I get a little bit closer? Actually, I'm on the wrong spot, right? Those days are over, because now the only thing left to do is just set up the proper snap mode and you are good to go. So it is absolutely wonderful. I recommend you do it now. Go ahead and stop the video, get in there and set it up so you can benefit from the workflow. Let me show you a couple more examples. So again, I'm going to go to beat. My secondary tool is the command click tool. So as soon as I select anything, it's doing the action, it's performing the action within the proper snap mode. And this is the benefit here. If I wanted to move the region, it's doing it per beat. See, I'm not even trying, I'm just moving it left. Okay, so some of you might run into this problem right here. You're trying to drag it to the left or the right, you're noticing nothing's happening. And the reason that's happening is because you're simply not moving far enough. So if I drag over just a little bit more, you'll notice now that I'm moving the drummer region per bars. And let's go ahead and corroborate that by looking at the help tag. If I click and hold any region, you'll find a helpful tag. And you can see that the position of the region is bar 1, beat 1, division 1, tick 1. And the length of that is exactly 3 bars. Now, that only happened because I muted this one, right? And so if I bring this back and I connect that, now we have a perfect integer 4 bars. So that gives you a lot of information that's really necessary in order to edit with precision. Look, if you're doing this for 2, 6, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, you're going to need a system. And I'm telling you, the system works. So set it up in such a way where you know where the key commands are. It's a very fluid workflow. And here's another tip. The way that I personally do it is I assigned bar, beat, so again, they're right next to each other. And then every time I change one, I change the other. That way my brain doesn't have to think about which one was this? Was this nudge? Was this beat? So I already know bars, beats, divisions, and ticks.